On that breaking news we've been following this morning as dozens of inmates riot at the Tulsa County Jail. We have a live picture outside the David L. Moss Correction Center downtown. There it is. This all started just before 6 o'clock this morning, and we now have Major Shannon Clark from the Sheriff's Office on the phone right now. Good morning, Shannon. How did this start?
Well, it actually was a slight disruption over the morning feeding. One of the inmates got upset about something, and he stood up and he threw his chair across the dining area within one of our general population housing units, and which started kind of a retaliation where other inmates got involved. Now, commanders on the scene are telling me that what basically took place in the whole incident, and we're watching videos to make sure we know exactly what took place, but it all lasted between 4 and 6 minutes in totality. And it did involve a large majority of the housing population that was eating breakfast that morning. And they characterized it as similar to a high school lunchroom food fight. We do know in that none of our staff were threatened, none of our staff were injured in the process. There was no damage to our facility whatsoever reported, and there were only a couple minor injuries, and they were sustained by 2 different inmates that will be looked out by the medical unit there at David L. Moss. They will not be transported for any medical attention.
All right, so some minor injuries only among the inmates, though. Can you tell us about the police presence there this morning? Was backup called in?
Right. And I will explain to that. When that stuff goes out on the radio, and a lot of times inside the facility, because there's such restriction to phones inside there, the deputies and the command staff that were listening to it on the radio, they preemptively sent additional resources, because in a facility like that, things can go bad really, really quick. And when you have multiple inmates engaged in mischief or unruly conduct, you want to have as much presence there as you can. Now, the SWAT team was activated, but the reason for that is that today was a training day for them anyway, and the commander was more wanting the less lethal devices that the SWAT team possesses, like the pepper ball guns and the beanbag shotguns and those kind of things, because you typically don't want to use real firearms inside a correctional or detention type facility. So they were called in for that. Then our partners over at Tulsa Police Department heard it going out on the radio.
Okay.
Our field units heard it, and everybody come for assistance, just in case.
All right, Major Clark, thank you so much. Certainly a story we'll have much more about throughout the day here on 2 News. Now the latest.